welcome to my Monday Madness. Well, hopefully, there won't be too much of the madness. That is more of a disclaimer. So, that way, nobody can hold me accountable if there is some madness. We'll see how my morning and probably the night for everyone else goes. Hey Terry, welcome, welcome. I'm just setting up my comment phone here so that I can see what all the wonderful people are saying. That's why I'm here. I'm here to talk to you also. It would be a shame if I didn't know what was going on in the chat. Oops. Oh no. I dropped my good scissors, and that's never good. Looks like they survived. It's a miracle. Okay. Um, last week on Friday, I started a channel with my new kit, which is called Cozy Autumn Mix. This is the first signature. I've got 2 more waiting for me. So if you missed it, I think I made a total of 8 pages. Pretty sure I did. Yep, that was the last one. So that's what I'm picking up from. I'm trying to make some sense into the chaos on my desk. I probably should have figured this out before I came on, but to my defense, it was a little bit of a crazy morning here in the dusty Finland. So it's a foggy morning for me. Lovely and cloudy outside. So I'm just now getting my setup right. I will zoom you in a little bit just in a bit. I of course wanted you all to see me being busy here. Oh, yeah, I'm from Finland. That's where I'm from. I live near our west coast. And yeah, that's where I come from. That's why my accent is this interesting. So I've got a lot of fussy cuts. I did some more fussy cutting after Friday. I think I still have a few pieces left, but yeah. And I did not remember to print the smaller butterflies. That's just a fair warning to everyone. Yay, we are getting ginger-rated. Hello, Diana. Hey, Lana. Welcome, welcome, Pam. Hi, Steph. Microdot, hello. Yeah, good morning, everyone. On my part, anyway. I know it's definitely nighttime for most of you, but whatever time it might be for you, welcome. I'm glad you're joining me today. Pam is already added. Thank you. Pam just linked the link for this kit on the chat. It's also in the description box if you are watching as a replay, or even if you're watching right now, it's still or should be down there. But anywho, hold on, I will just stand up for a bit so that I can see where I'm zooming all of you in. Come on, there we go. Okay, I think that's better. Now you can probably actually see what I'm doing here. If I move this, I might lose track on where I'm supposed to be so that I'm still on camera, but forgive me if that happens. There's this page here. Like I said last week, I'm not much of a journaler in the traditional way myself. But the reason why I'm building this journal the way I am, I mean, it will still have some journaling spots because I want to also be able to provide some inspiration for everyone in here. Uh, Hold on, because Pam, I have no clue how I'm supposed. Oh yeah, there. Finally, thank you so much, Pam. Thanks for the reminder, because it was in one of my previous lives when I was trying to pin a message, and for some reason it didn't work, and I thought I was doing it wrong, but it worked. Oh yeah, I completely understand. I assume it's Jane. um, yeah, everyone's gotta get some sleep sometime. Even Pam, even all the marathon people on YouTube. So let's get started. I'm thinking I want to do some sort of a journal thing for this page. I also already have a plan for this, but we'll see how we will execute that. Let's not worry about that yet. Um, 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 um. Oh, thank you, Pam. It's always so nice of you to remind people to give me a thumbs up because I sometimes forget myself. Um, yep. So, journaling spot. I'm thinking I will make a flip because I love this page. I love this symbol, which is called fleur de lis. Um, I love it, so I don't want to cover it. So let's do something where we will have a journal spot with this coffee dyed paper, but where we will also be able to see it. I'm going to make it a little shorter than my original page, like so. And then I actually wanted to make it a little bit longer, want to make it a little bit longer than my original page, I think. Doesn't need to be much though. Let's see. I will just trim it somewhere. I can always trim it again later on if it doesn't work. I think 11 inches, which is, or I mean, 11 centimeters, which is about 4¼ in inches. Then yes, exactly. Different ideas, different things to try. That's what has kept me hooked to paper crafting for so long. Definitely. So I want to have myself a little border here. I'm just making a mark where I want to score this thing, and I mean I could, this is just thin paper. Let's actually, we don't need the fancy tools. Let's just fold it like this. I think I didn't do a very good job at getting that straight, but that's okay. It's a handmade project. Let's see. how bad is it? Well, not too bad. Not too bad, actually. I can live with that. So here we go. Now, when I glue this on, I think, how shall we put this so that it opens into the journal, or so that it flips out of the journal? Which one do you all prefer? I don't really have a preference. I think my gut feeling says that it would be better to fold it into the journal. That way you have something you can write on. Instead of having it kind of like fold outside the edge, hanging freely in the air. Let's see. I will just ankle cut my hinge here. I think I will take some washi tape and hide this hinge after I have glued it down, but for now I'm just ankle cutting that. I think I will put it like that so that it opens into the journal. Let's see. Well, in all honesty, I know it feels horrible not to have phone access, but I think I will round the corners here real quick. But I think that's actually really good to do sometimes, like be off from your social media and all that. I think I should do that more. This is a thinner paper that I've got coffee dyed, so it didn't do, or the bunch didn't do a perfect job, but that's fine. It's good enough. Let's see. I have my vintage photo oxide on my desk again. That's what I usually use, so I'm just inking up the edges just a little bit. I think, well, I would say most junk journalers, probably not the most paper crafters, but I would say most junk journalers do this a lot, so I think many of you already know the drill. My glue is not working. I don't know why. It should be all good to go. I just took the pin out and everything, but it was not feeling it this early on a Monday morning, I guess. There we go. I'll just stick this down here. Evenly placed. There we go. So now we've got a flip that opens like so. And like I said, I will just take some washi tape and cover this hinge right here. It's also some of additional decoration, I think. Shall I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit orangey for the page, but I honestly don't know if I have anything better, especially on hand. I think this works. I'll just use this. It has letters and they will be sideways. Actually, that bothers me too much. I thought it wouldn't, but it does. That's, well, that could work. It has some text, but it would be the right way around. Oh, that one. That's actually great. Hmm. Well, I can actually relate to that. Um, life being on the crafty channels because that's where my only friends are. Um, I don't really have a social life outside YouTube, honestly. I know it's sad, but it's also true. Um, I will just grip this a little bit smaller than the actual flip. There we go. Now let's add some light decoration. So yep, I can relate. I know how it is. Let's see. Do I want to add a hinge? I think that would be fun. The or I don't know, tab, not a hinge, more like a tab. The few tabs that I included in this kit are kind of big though, so I'm not sure. Oops, I actually folded it the wrong way. No, I didn't. I didn't. Do I want that here? Maybe I will put it here in the bottom and then I will lay some sort of a decoration here. I think that's what I'll do. Yeah, I think it's kind of the same for many of us. But luckily we have all these different channels and such, so that we have found like-minded people who keep us company. That's fabulous. I'm trying to get it somewhat straight. It probably won't be perfect, but that's also fine. That's good there. Now I will just glue this top part of the tab on the page. There we go. I could have tried different colors here, but I just went with what I happen to have on my hand. So no need to think about it too much. Obviously it doesn't match at all, but it's just one layer. We can keep adding to it. Like we could take, I still haven't cut this completely, but we could take one of these big postage stamps or something. I'm also, let me get these pockets out of the way. What's that? That's a button, I think. Yep, that's cute. I will just, because I have this small box of things, everything that I've got out from the kit, but it's a bit of a mess because I just got things out and put them all in here. Some of the things I have are actually on my desk from last week, like a huge pile of pockets I still haven't used. So, but let's see. I kind of want to have a few layers in here, like so. Maybe I could continue the butterfly theme to this page as well. I think that would complete a trio that I have going on. I could even use one of these clusters. I think that's too much. Let's see. There's some orange. I don't know. Decisions, decisions. They are sometimes so very hard to make. I'm just trying out different things here. Don't mind me. Trying to keep an eye on the comments. I'm glad you like it, Pam. Yeah, I do want to keep the butterfly. That's what I'm sure of. But let's see what else I want to put in here. I kind of like that plaid on plaid. Or something like that. I think I'll just go with that arrangement. Trying not to think too much. And of course, I still, the whole reason why I made this flip is to have some sort of writing space. So I don't want to cover it too much. I also have a few of these ripped up of leaves. These were from the butterflies. Like the way I designed the kit, I could have used them both, but I decided to cut the butterflies out without the leaves and such for the most part. So I think I'll use that. Or something like so. I do want a leaf in here because I have those on this page as well. And I think I will also carry the same gilded or golden gel pen onto this page as well, just to make it matchy matchy. But let me just see. I actually have, would this solve all my problems? I think it will. I will use that one. There we go. Why make it so hard on yourself when you have ready solutions on hand? Let's ink that up. I did not ink the tab and I'm probably going to regret it later on. But let's ink this one. I'm trying to figure out what the HHH. No, then torture until then. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, what sort of a code language is Pam using here? Keyboard is being a brat, aren't they always? Good night, Steph. Sleep well. And looks like Lana was actually thinking the same thing as I am creating. I mean, adding a leaf. But yeah, the first label I had, it looked good, but I don't know. I wanted to have some plaid on plaid action here. I think I will gently rub some ink on the butterfly legs so that they will be a little less plain white, and also other spots here in the middle. I don't know if you can see because I certainly can't. Yeah, I'm just going to commit and glue that down in there. Okay, see you in a bit, Terry. Trying to glue all the smallest pieces in here is sometimes a bit of a challenge, especially when I'm trying to be effective and getting it done rather than taking like 2 hours to glue it down. There we go. Do I want to? No, I don't think the button would make much sense. Not that everything in journaling has to make sense. Hey Vale, welcome, welcome. Is it veil like a pride's dress veil, or is it ballet like okay in Spanish? That's something I've been trying to figure out. Let's see, I will just do some really quick doodling here to highlight the veins on this small leaf. Come on. Why is my pen not being nice to me this morning? I think the Monday theme is starting to show. Nothing works the way you want it to. There we go. Okay, now it's working. Maybe even a little bit too well. There we go. I could also add some highlights to the pumpkin. There we go. And definitely need to decorate this butterfly. I have no clue why I'm taking like 5 minutes between each word I say. That's probably because I'm focusing. Don't mind me. Okay, so like Belle. Okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. I will read the rest of the chat as soon as I can lift my head from what I was doing. Who has added a football to her name? Maybe it's, I don't know. Football. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. You pointing out the pinned message. Okay, so now we have a little cluster here. I think it just brings so much onto this plain page, and there's still, oops, I did not I did not pay too much attention when I was folding that tab, it seems. No, well, never mind. Let's just cut it out. Let's cut it. There's something going on with my throat today. There we go. No one will ever know, except all of you and me, but that's just a minor detail. Okay, so do I want to add something in here as well? Maybe just, I think I could do just like really plain tab or something in here. Oh, I have plenty of those. Let's see, would this work? I think so. But I think I need some sort of a piece of paper to balance it out a little bit. So what do I have? I think I put it all in a pile somewhere. Here it is. Not that. Oops. Let's see. Maybe I will just take a piece of this. Yeah, I think that works. I will just, like I said, I'm trying not to think too much of it. Or More like trying to avoid overthinking. Yep, that's good. I will just cut it there and then I will fishtail it. I think that's what it's called. There we go. And then the other side. It doesn't really matter if it's not perfectly even, like if the both sides are not exactly cut the same way or cut exactly the same way. I need to get my words in order. But yeah, okay, I think that is better. Better, maybe. If it's not, please don't tell me. I will put it, yeah, upside. Or, I don't know. I know, Pam, but I'm supposed to be on a sick leave. Or, like, yeah. So I can't do my original job right now, which is overthinking. I need to be stress-free and all that, so that I'm not actually making myself worse. There we go. So right now I'm seeing overthinking as poison that I'm like obligated to avoid pretty much. Thank you, thank you. Well, Hassalla. Okay. I don't know what you were talking about, Lana. Oh, right. Yeah. For a moment, I thought you thought that Belle had kidnapped me. It's about the commas again, I think. It like Vel has, comma, Sala instead of Vel has Sala. It took me a good while to figure that one out. Okay, let's put that in here. I think, well, I will go like that. More on the tab than on the page, I think. Yep, there we go. Yeah, punctuation is everything. That's how I got adopted, after all. Oh my goodness. And once again, most people don't know what I'm talking about, and probably it's better that way. Some inside jokes are meant to be inside jokes. So, another white page. I was actually really. Hold on. I will have to find right paper for this. I was really inspired by something that Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, I think that's what her channel is called. Anywho, she was making cards. They were landscape, not portrait, like my page here is. But she was... Why haven't I got this? Oh, never mind. Too late now. She was making landscape cards. And my page is portrait, but we will see how it works for this. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Hey Frida, welcome, welcome. We are already talking about punctuation here. And I think it's safe to say that us Europeans love grammar maybe a little bit too much. There we go. Okay, so I need a piece of paper, and I think, well, I will make it about the same size of, or the same size as my page here, but I will later on probably end up cutting it smaller. Well, I don't know, we'll see. Hi Fifi, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm doing pretty much the same thing that Lori did earlier. I know Fifi was there, so she knows, she knows. But I'm trying to see if it works on portrait projects, because I know Lori was doing landscape. There we go. I know this is going to be a bit wide for my page, but I'm thinking I can always cut it off later on. And when I'm thinking is I'm going to make this kind of like a twofer. So I'm going to tear the middle piece off and actually use it on this page, if that makes sense. I hope it does. If it doesn't right now, it might make sense later. So hey, we'll see. Hi April, welcome, welcome. I'm just going to tear with my ruler. How wide did I make that? I think I want them to be about the same. There we go. It doesn't look as fancy as if it would if I would have kind of like freehanded this tear, but I think it will still work. Okay, I think I'm going to just take this one page out of the journal and leave the rest of the signature out for now. There we go. So that's the basic idea. I think I will also ink up the center of my spread so that I can see and also you can see. Yep. Now I'll just do some inking. I'm not going to do any inking on the side of the page because I know I will be trimming that off, because like I said, this is a bit wider than my page. So there we go. I'm also trying to avoid going over the line or actually leaving a little bit of a gap or cap. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Leaving a bit of a gap between the score line and this piece so that the page can fold freely. I'm not going to glue all over the torn edge so that it will look a little bit more organic, and also so that I can tuck things under this little flap here. Flippy flap. I think I will actually also just distress it a little bit more with my fingers or nails, more like it. There we go. And then let's put this top piece at its place also. Once again, I'm not inking the side where I'm going to cut. Oops, I'm making a mess. So, where do I want to glue this? Not here. I don't want to go over the page, and also not on the torn edge. For the same reason, I did not glue the bottom part. Oops, and now there's completely some inky powder on my project. I know there's going to be some lines when I do this. Well, maybe not. Whew, that was extraordinary not to have a mess on my page. There we go. So when Lori made her cards, they were, well, first of all, landscape. So she was working on them like this. She put strips top and down. I will link the live down below later on. But yeah, and then she had this big sentiment she put in the middle where the white is showing. But I'm going to do something a bit different. I think I'm going to build a scene of sorts in there. We'll see how it works. I don't need my pencils. I don't know why I took those. I need these. So I could use more butterflies. I think I will opt to these pumpkins though. So to everyone who is new here, these are from my new kit called Cozy Autumn Mix. That's what I'm using today. It's available in my coffee shop. You can find the link pinned on top of the live chat, or if you are watching a replay or just want to find it somewhere else than the chat, it's also on the description box. Sorry. I'm taking my sweet time to find the words today. I have all sorts of pumpkins in here. I don't know what to use. Some people might say don't use pumpkins at all, because I know we have some non-pumpkin lovers here. I still haven't inked the edge, but that's fine. Let's see. It's my own fault, really, for making this much of a mess. I kind of like this pumpkin too, but I think I will just keep it simple, really. And I also think I'm going to maybe use one of these doily clusters from my kit on this opposite page, but for now let's just worry about this side. Do I want the leaf back in there? And do I want more leaves? There's even this, a little pine cone. I think that would work in here. Yep, I like it. And maybe put that somewhere in here. I don't know. There's just something I'm not liking about this arrangement. I can't quite wrap my head around what it is, but I think I will still go with it. I like that the colors are much fresher. I will just cut the stem because I don't need that. It's much fresher than the panels I have going on this page. So I think that's actually good. Yeah, it could be the white background, but then again, I'm trying to get used to that because, partially the reason why I printed my pages for this journal, only one-sided, not double-sided like I usually do, is to get comfortable with the white showing. And I also think that's basically the whole idea of this of this page. I can't remember how I had it. Oh my goodness. Now it's getting everywhere. Ah, panic, panic. There we go. Now it's down. Yeah, maybe. I'll see. I'll see how it looks untucked. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Pam just linked my shop in there. Let's see. There we go. Now it's pinned. Now we have the right link pinned. Thank you, thank you. I think I will just glue this down. If it looks odd, I can always figure out what else I can do to this page or something like that. So let's not take this too seriously. I don't want to overlap them too much because I still want there to be something all through the page. If I was making a card, I would probably be putting some of these on dimensionals. So using like foam squares or something to prop certain things up. But because it's a journal page, I don't want to do that because it adds a lot of bulk. And I know my journal is going to be so bulky. They always are, no matter how hard I try. So I'll just put that there. Then let's ink the pumpkin. Oh, yeah, Fussy-Gus. Exactly. Yes, I did fussy cut all of these things I'm using. I don't mind fussy cutting, fussy cutting, especially when I'm watching TV or something like that. It can be a little bit hideous if I'm just spending some time in my craft room fussy cutting. But other times I really don't mind. Do I want this on top? I kind of do. I like it on top, but it would be hanging and this wouldn't look so free and unhinged. So I'm thinking I will still tuck it, but not by much. There we go. I do like it on top, for sure. I will not put any ink on the background. No, I want to keep it white. It will correspond with the other page, and I love how fresh it makes this look. I mean, it would look more, I don't know, autumny or yes, I understand that, Pam. Me too. Maybe I will glue it on top. I will just glue it down completely so that it won't look weird or anything like that, but let's put it on top. I think that was a good suggestion. Words are hard, especially for somebody like me. There we go. And by somebody like me, I mean an alien, I guess. It's really hot in my craft room. I don't know why. It's already cooling outside, so it's not that hot in there anymore. So I don't know why it is in here, but I've got like a constant fog on my glasses. So I'm making all sorts of funny faces here to myself, trying to keep them unfoggy. Yes, I'm the crafty alien, just not in New York. Like in the song. Okay, let's ink. I will ink the white part 2 just to make it a little bit easier on Pam. There we go. Let's add some more subtle ink blending. Is that better now, Pam? Does this make you feel more comfortable? There we go. I think it looks good. I could always add. Do we want viewer's choice? Do we have, oh my goodness, do we want a sentiment here, and where do we want it? I love the autumn blessings. Personally, that would be my personal choice. We could even take one of these small tacks and put it there or somewhere. Do we like the tack? Do we right there? I assume it was the bottom left when Lena said right there. Right here. Thanks, Vivi. Just do it, Salah. Yes, just do it. Um, I don't know if other people who are, who have foreign names, do you struggle to pronounce your name when you are speaking English or just other names from your own region? Like, I tend to say mine in a really English way. I call myself Sala, although I am Salla. So it's a really tiny difference, but there is a difference. Exactly. Frida can't handle us. We overthink too much. But that's what overthinkers do, right? There we go. I just did it. I didn't listen to anyone and I just did it. Are you proud of me now? I really want to add a butterfly. I want. I want to add a butterfly there. I really want to, but I want. I'm just. I think at this point I will make a pile out of these doilies too because they're lovely, but there's so much in my way when I'm trying to find something because there's kinda like a lot of them. I could also add a leaf or just a pile of pumpkins. But I want. I probably want. I shouldn't. I should not. But I want. And that would be my partner sneezing, if you could hear that. But I like it. I want to add it. No, no, I should not. I have to leave some empty space, right? I will just leave that over there in case somebody is ready to tell me, just do it. Thank you, Fifi. Do what you feel it needs. I don't know what I feel. I'm overwhelmed. Okay. Shall we make this a belly band? What does the audience say? Do we want a belly band or do we want to put it down straight? And because of Pam's and myself's fear of blank pages, I'm trying to see if I would have any sort of hold on, sort of a stencil in here that I could use that would make this a little bit easier for us all who are afraid of the, what's it called, blank pages. But I don't know if I have anything I like. Well, I probably do. Oh, sorry. There's going to be a big box and you can't see anything. Just give me a second. I will try to look for something that would have something to do with autumn. But the problem is that I have put everything like so in the box that says autumn, and it's on the top of my shelf, so I can't reach that right now. But maybe we could just do some text, right? When in doubt, just use some text. I have these Stamperia stencils and it looks like I've been using them both, even though it's the same stencil. Oh well. Yeah, let's just, well, fine. I will just flip through these really, really fast. Decisions. I store everything in cardboard boxes, so you can imagine how terrorized I was yesterday when I read that there is a bug. Oh, I have 3 of the same stencil. Goodness, oh Lord, somebody help me. There's a bug that eats paper and it's getting more common here in Finland, and I think I finally got rid of my need to buy stuff, because they said that it's quite common in the warehouses where they have tons of cardboard boxes so that they can obviously pack the orders that they get. No butterfly for this. Oops, it's falling down. Oh my Lord. But yeah, so I don't think I want to order anything ever again. And I'm also getting this sudden rush to get all of my stuff packed in plastic boxes. Good night, April. Thank you for being here. Okay, belly band, belly band, belly band. Okay, got it. I will make it a belly band. Belly band. Happy mail. Yeah, I should. Really should. Yeah, me too. I love the Ciao Bella stencil. I actually think I might use use it. I like this one too, but some of the leaves that are here look a bit strange. So let's just use the Ciao Bella instead of this 13 arts. Let me open this. Come on. Come on. Open it. So, what's up? I missed what is going on with Frida. Will she be live? Frida will be live with me Tuesday night / Wednesday morning for her first ever live. Oh my! Yay! That's awesome. We are all very proud of you, Frida. It's it's really a huge step to do your first live. After a while, it gets easier, but even for me, obviously I haven't done that many YouTube lives yet. I just started doing these regular ones too. But I don't know. I still get nervous. Every time I'm supposed to go live, I feel nervous. I get the tummy ache and all. Okay, so I'll just do some really light ink blending here. I think it would be fabulous if I would have like orange in here, but I'm just going to use the brown because that's what I have out right now. Is that enough? I think it is. I don't want it to be too overwhelming. I think the stenciling would have worked on the other page as well, but like I tend to say, or everyone tends to say, hindsight is 2020. So we also, I'm not sure if you have the same saying in English, but we say that there's no reason to cry over milk that's already on the floor or something like that. I don't know. No need to cry over spilled milk. Is that the English version? Not sure. I love sayings. I do. But sometimes I mix them up a bit. Okay. So I want this here and I want to make it a belly band. No reason to cry over spilled milk. Yes. Yes, we will all be there to support Frida. It was Tuesday / Wednesday, so Frida's Wednesday morning, right? Because that would be Wednesday morning for me too. And that will, for everyone who is watching the replay, that will be on Pam's channel, which is the Ginger Cat Lady, also known with so many other names like Messy Pam, because she got recently into mixed media, and there's also a person who hangs out in Pam's lives called Diane, who is the Messy Palette AU, and then there's Messy Missy, of course. So, yeah, she's also known as Messy Pam these days. There we go. I'll just glue the edges down. Of course, I could have gone and sewn this thing, but I didn't. I'll just put it down. But there's something else you could do. Just throwing different options at you all. Let's take a look. It's 10:30 my time, so wait a minute, have I only been on for an hour? Not too bad. I finished 2 pages. Yay me. I love that, but it's maybe a tiny bit small for what I had in mind. I could always layer these somehow. Why not even do 2 of these in here? Yes, I actually think I like that. I also have this hot drink. I think it also corresponds right, like, I think it corresponds nicely with the other page. So let's do that. Let's just go with it. I think it also needs some stitching and or faux stitching. So I think we will do that with a gold gel pen. There we go. Yeah, I think it's better this way. Just need to figure out how I want to do this. Okay. That way. Exactly. We are all friends, and I feel in many ways this is a place for where so many of us can be ourselves completely, not have to be afraid of being judged or something like that, which I believe also for a big part goes for the whole YouTube community. I mean, of course, there are some people who are awful and mean, but I honestly don't think they would last too long in a place like this. So, like, I was just horrified when I heard what Casey was telling in his live yesterday. I would be like quitting my channel, not coming back ever if somebody was like that. So I'm really proud of him for not letting it get to him. Because Casey was saying that somebody once came to his live and left some really nasty comments about his appearances and so on, so which is not nice at all. Is Casey's channel Crafting with Casey? I think that is Casey. Which is probably how you always spell Casey. I keep wanting to use this button somewhere, but I just can't find a place for it. So sad. I'm feeling that these tags might be a bit too small for this. So I think I might have to make myself another journal card, but which do I want to use for that? I could use one of my pumpkin pages. Pumpkin page. Let's see. I'm just reaching over to the side where I have some of my pumpkin pages so that I can try and figure out which one I want to use. Really mixed media versions. Hey, Anna-Marit. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, haters won't last and jealousy gets you nowhere. That's so true. Sadly, I honestly don't know why people go through all the trouble of trying to just make somebody else's day worse. It makes no sense to me at all. If if I don't like somebody, if I don't like their content, I will simply move on. It's I don't know why it seems to be like rocket science to some other people. I don't know why leave a hateful comment. Like even if it's something that needs to be said, like if somebody is being mean and you want to leave a comment like, hey, stop being mean, let people be themselves, you can still do that in a kind way. Like even you can even respond to people being mean by being kind or doing it in a strict but polite way. So that's the way I say things. So I don't know why there are people who just go out of their ways to make someone else miserable, or trying to anyway. It's like, well, I think I could refer to it by saying, well, I sure thought that high school or whatever was over already and the bullies had had enough. But I guess not. I want this to be full on pumpkin page. I'm sorry for everyone who hates pumpkins, but that's that's how this one is going to be. Just cutting it a bit smaller. I think I went with 3.5 inches by, we'll see. I'm just looking at the pumpkins here. I want it to be shorter than my page, but yeah. My page is that much, so I think 3.25 by 5. I think that's good. Yep, looks nice. Now I will just see if I can still slide this under my belly band. Probably not. I might be able to, or I might have to trim some of it off. It's so thin, but when I pack it, it will be bulkier, and if it's hard to put it under there right now, it will be even harder later. So I will just cut it down a notch. Oops, I did not get that straight at all, so better get my guillotine back out. Exactly, they need to put others down so that they can feel better, but that's just the thing that I don't get. Like, how does that make anybody feel better? Like, if something, I would just feel worse if I was that mean to somebody. So that's, I don't get the psychology. Then again, I guess that's just the way I was built. I kind of want to trim it from the top or the bottom a little bit too, so that it would be even, but maybe let's just ignore it. I once again have some of my cereal box here. I'm going to use that to pack this. Thank you, thank you. Just responding to Fifi saying it is very pretty. Let's see. And I honestly think this would be a fun idea for a card as well. Like you could have a belly band on your card and then just have another card tucked in there. I think it would be nice. So, like I keep saying, I think junk journaling and card bases, card making, they aren't as much of two different worlds as people say. Max just asked why they don't learn the obvious at school. Positively gained dopamine lasts longer. Hmm? Well, I would say Max is wiser than so many other people out there, considering how many trolls and just overall mean people we have online. Like, I've been talking about those hate traps or anger traps. I can't recall what they are actually called, but you know, those posts that people make because they want to make people mad. I think I want concave corners for this one. Let's see if my tiny little bunch. Actually, I do have some fancy ones too. Let's do that one. Yep, it does it. This is fairly strong punch. So even though I have the cardboard box and then some thick-ish printer paper on top of it, it was able to handle it quite well. Then I will just ink around the edges. There we go. I could slap some lace in here, but I think I won't because I like to be able to slide it in and out without having too much issues. So yeah, I think although this page is definitely more turquoise, or it has like, I don't know, greenish blue shades in here compared to this page, I think they still correspond quite nicely because of this thing. Thank you, Lana. Yes, rage bait. Exactly, that's what I was looking for. Oh no. That's not good pen. She was saying that her... Actually, I think I will use black for this one. I've been using a lot of gold, but now that I'm looking at this card, I see some black stitching in there, so I think it will match a bit better if I use black. So just bear with me as I make my faux stitching. Even before I had a sewing machine, this was my go-to. And these days, when I have a sewing machine and I'm just too lazy to get it out to actually make things pretty, um, this is just something I like to do. It's relatively fast. It doesn't require heavy lifting. I think it's fun. The pumpkin pies tie it all together. Yeah, it does. Pumpkin ties it all together. What a fun typo. Life would be so boring without all the fun typos that we get from time to time. I think even though it will take a while, I do want to add some stitching on these panels as well. I will try my best to be fast. Actually, I think if I'm being fast or relatively fast, it might actually look nicer too because the lines don't have time to be crooked. So there we go. Just the size for the bottom one left. Lana is saying that pie is not a big thing where she is, and we have like blueberry pies and some salty pies, but honestly, pumpkin pie is not a thing around here either. Most people don't use pie in their cooking, so I'm also pretty unfamiliar with things like pumpkin spice latte. I don't even know how to say it. You know, the coffee with the pumpkin spice. I think it's latte, but there we go. Okay, that's the page done. I think stitching is what it needed. Like when I felt this was too plain, I think the stitching can like fixed it. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Fifi. Now, for this page, I think I will just add a pocket because God knows I've got a lot of those. I have small ones, I have bigger small ones, I have bigger ones. So many pockets. I will just put them in order real fast. I think I will actually use these wide yet shallow ones. For some reason, one of those would make sense. Although I only have a few, so we don't have that many color options. I feel like this striped one is too busy. Maybe that one too, so it comes down to these two. There's quite a lot of green in the bottom of the page, so I think this is our only option. Although it's not a perfect match, I think it will do. There we go. I'll just glue this down. I don't want to think too much about it. Oh, I was actually thinking I wanted to make some fancy paper clips this morning. That was one of the ideas that I had. But like if I would do that for this page, it would be nice to make a floating pocket, which is basically glue this one on a piece of, hold on. Do I have anything I could use to show in case somebody doesn't know what a floating pocket is? I could glue a pocket on a piece of paper and then just use a nice paper clip to clip it on the page so that it wouldn't be glued down. You could always take it off. But because I already decorated this page. I don't know. I'm not going to do this or that for this page. So there we go. I hope any of that, or at least some of that, made some sense. I'm trying because sometimes it's hard. I know we have people like Pam who does a lot of chunk channeling, and many other people in here as well. Thank you, Vale. Thank you. And thanks, Lana. Um, looks like Fifi and Lana are sadly both leaving, but thank you for hanging out with us today. I appreciate that. I think this is small enough so that I could get away with just putting some sort of a cluster in here. Color-wise, I think that would be better, but not sure if I like the arrangement otherwise. That would be cute, I think. I think I will go with this one and just put something else with it. But yeah. Let's see. The leaf is too small. I could put it on top though. There's some seeds or something in the middle. Let's see. I will just put my pile of paper away for a bit and see what we have in here. Let's see if that's enough to be on camera. Maybe not, because I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, maybe a small leaf. I want more dimensional or dimension or something like that in here, so I think I actually like that. Although the brown gets lost a bit, so maybe some other color like this green would tie them up, but I feel like that's too wide. I could of course cut it down a bit, but let's see what else I have here. Do you have this? I think that would work. Just a moment, I will quickly flip through to see if I have a tab or tag or whatever these are called, labels. If I have a label that would work in there. I think that's pretty much perfect. So not sure if I want to change it, but yeah, I don't think I have other options that would be better than that, so I'll take the green one out and use that. I could always take some green-ish. Do I have any? Or a green part of the paper that I have here. There we go. That has green there. And to make a little border for it. Why not? Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. At first, I'm complaining the first label was too big, and now I'm making this one bigger. Makes perfect sense, right? Hey Auntie, welcome, welcome. I'm telling welcome to everyone. Let me know if that starts to get annoying. I will have to figure out something else. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to. I think I will just do. I will do the corner here. I'll be what's the word? Frugal. I will be frugal and save my paper to live or fight another day. Yesterday when I was watching the Casey, Irma, and Pam live, I said that I will take something as a compliment and run away with it. And they were like, ah, she doesn't even run with it. She runs away with it. And that's because I just, every time I say that, I see myself giggling like crazy and just grabbing something and running away with it like a crazy person, like as if I was really carrying the compliment. So that's why. I totally should have inked the edges of the label, but I didn't, so that's too late now. And I did not cut that straight. Maybe it's better now. I will just round the corners. Oops. One more. There we go. Come on. I hate when these things get stuck in the bunch. Well, maybe I was, Frida. That missing. That's what I saw too. Yeah, exactly. It's just funny. Funny, funny. Okay, now we have a big, really big label in here. It covers basically the whole pocket. I could always put it towards the bottom a little bit more, but I don't think I will. Okay, there's more green now. Is that even, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's straight to me. Not sure if I'm just seeing things, but I have to clip it a little bit. It was really bothering me. But now I have to round the corner as well. Thank you, Pam. Thanks for the reminder. Pam is saying in the chat that if you like the kit that I'm working on, you can get it from my coffee shop, which is linked both on the pinned message on top of the live chat and also in the description of this video. There we go. Let's see. Well, Frida said I sound like I was raised by the trolls. Technically, every Finn is raised by the Finn trolls. Those are white creatures that Finnish author called Tuve Jansson created back in the day. Yeah, that's good. What else am I missing in the chat? Yes, I'm also reminded. Oh my goodness, now there's the janitor again cutting the grass right outside my window. So if you can see or hear, you probably can't see, but if you can hear that, I'm so sorry for the light inconvenience of people doing some hard, honest work while I craft away. Yeah. I think I might have to send them my live schedule so that they know when not to come, as if they would even care. Ah, it's really hard. My eyes are dry, so they are really watery these days, and sometimes it's super hard to see the small pin because there's so much. Well, there are tears in my eyes from all of this. Let's see, what do I want to use? I think I like kind of like this one, but once again, the page is yellow toned, so it gets a lot gets lost a little bit. I like that one. I also like that one. I also like them all. Well, go figure, I made them. How about this? Do we like the leaf one? That's too something. This one would be nice too. Maybe I'll put them both in and then change them up here and there. I think color-wise this works quite nicely, but that one not so much. That one would work. As you can see, you can fit quite a few of these tags into one tiny pocket, in case somebody was wondering. Okay, I need to stop. Of course, it's the same kit, so most of these would work, but which one I want to use is the real question. Ooh. Decisions. I kind of like the yellow still though, although it gets lost. I don't know. I'll just use one of those two. I don't think I will. That's the wrong green, so I'll go with this one. For the US ladies, fin trolls are just the funniest and kindest creatures. Yeah, I guess so. Hmm. That's a good tip, Terry. Terry is saying that if you put another piece behind the piece that you're punching, it won't get stuck. Um, yeah, it helps. Definitely helps, especially and otherwise too. If you are using tin paper like I'm using here, if you put something behind it, it won't. It will cut it instead of just cracking it, basically. I'm wondering if I would just use this on the back. Maybe not. Nobody would ever be able to write anything on it. I'll just take this piece of paper and use that instead. Hey Lori, welcome, welcome. Oh, I made my own version of what you were making this morning. Because like I was telling people earlier, this is Lori who made the portrait cards with a sentiment on the white area. But because my journal is portrait and not landscape, I think I just said it wrong way around. Lori made the landscape, I made the portrait. But yeah, I made my own version. So I was definitely inspired by that. Now let's get this glued on. I'm working with my very own kit today. It's the Cozy Autumn Mix. That's what it's called. It's a printable and it's available in my Ko-fi shop. I'm trying to mention that here and there. It's available on both A4 and letter size. And now I'm trying to put the pin back to my glue bottle again. There we go. It's a struggle today. Doesn't help to have the watery eyes. I'm not crying, I promise you. Just, I don't know why my eyes are so dry. And it's funny how it works. Like when eyes get dry, that's when they get runny. And thank you. I do like the autumn theme as well. Previously, when I was still only a card maker, not like there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying it like that. Please don't take it that way. But when I wasn't making journals, it was a struggle for me because I really didn't have places where I could use autumn papers, and I love the theme. So now when I'm making journals, I'm obviously going for it. So that's where it's going to be. We have made the tab, then we have made this spread, and now that page. So let's see, we have brown page next. For the previous one, I made the butterflies, and before that I just made this. I quite like when the brown paper is showing. I don't want to cover it completely. I could do another pocket page, but somehow I'm thinking I might want to do a side pocket. It's a little bit so and so if this is going to be tall enough, but I don't want to waste the paper either. Plus, I really like this side. So I think I will just make it shorter than the page, which is completely fine. Let's cut the white edge off and then trim it. I'm thinking maybe 2 inches would be good. We'll see how it looks. 2-inch wide. Maybe that's 2.5. Is that too much? I think it is. 2.25. Yeah, I don't know if I would do 2 or 2.5, so I will go with 2.25, which is about 5.5 centimeters. I'm just guesstimating here, not making anything like really. I'm trying not to measure too much, that's what I'm trying to say. I tend to put my decorations on the bottom of the page. I know I should balance them out a little bit more, especially because it leads to a situation where the journal is bulky at the bottom and then it's like completely flat at the top, which is also okay. It doesn't really matter, but yep. I think I'm still going down the same road, which is decorating the bottom even after everything I just said. So that's why I want the green to show, because there's only a little bit of it. I'm going to put it that way. And where's my 1-inch bunch? There it is. I'm going to make myself a little thumb notch just to hint around the fact that there's a pocket, just like that. Oops. Let's put that there. And then I will just quickly add some ink. It won't show that much, especially when my ink dauber is as dry as it was. but just a bit. There we go. Now it shows up a little bit more. There we go. I think I want to add some stenciling on that page as well, and I will use the same stencil. Let's see, I will just take this page out. I will try to remember where it goes later on. There we go. But I will fold this in half. The wrong way is round. There we go. And I will add some inking here, which will tell me where the middle part of the page is, because in a single color page like this it would be hard to tell otherwise. Okay, now let's find the spot, and my ink blending brush is still here. Skate tramp journal. Is that what they are called? I have heard of alligator mouths and I have heard of all things, but this skater ramp journal, that's a new one. Skate tramp. Skate tramp? No, skate ramp. Don't mind me as I'm learning how to speak. I need to go in a little bit stronger on this page, I think, because it's brown to begin with, but I still don't want it to be too overwhelming. So, but yeah, I'm definitely not being too fancy with my inking, just putting some ink on the page and calling it a day. Not yet, but you know. Does it show at all? Well, a little bit. It could be easier to use something like Crown Espresso or what are the other distress ink colors? Scorched Timber, you know, just not so much of a light brown, but right now the Vintage Photo is what I have on hand, so that's what I was using. Oh no, Whale, those are the worst. It's so annoying when the technology doesn't work like it's supposed to be. Or it's supposed to work. Let's see if I can add some inking on the edges as well. It's not perfectly cut, my piece of paper here, I mean, but it doesn't really matter. I don't mind if it's crunchy and has these little uneven spots in here. That just adds to the character, I think. Okay, this will be here. I'm thinking on the back side of the paper I will just glue a piece of paper down to make this a little bit sturdier, because obviously this is a bit flimsy by nature, the brown paper that is. Okay, there we go. Now let's put this on the page. Don't mind the silence while I concentrate. There we go. And now let's think about the decorations I might want to add to this. I don't think I want to go too crazy, and I think I want to take my signature back from there so that I can see the opposite side, so that I can make them a little bit more matching. So I think we need to tie in the yellows. from this page, the brown is somewhat matching. I'm not too worried about that. I could add a small thing like this. I think I could, well, the pocket is a little bit deep for what I have in here. I could make, I think that's actually perfect. Let's use this because it's the same paper. How would anything be more perfect than that? So that's what I'm going with. I'm kind of playing in my head with the idea of putting a small pocket in here. That would be fun too, just have another tack in here. But I'm already making so many pockets and everything that I'm not sure if that's wise. I don't know. I kind of like the idea though. Maybe not. That's too much. Maybe I'll just use one of these because I use them on the other page as well. Although it is a little bit repetitive. I would have to put it on top. Which I just said that I wouldn't do, but maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. I do have this huge. That actually works quite well. I think I'll use that. Let me just cut it out real quick. There we go. I wonder if my punch is big enough for these holes. I don't think it is. Nope, it's not. I could use my scalloped scissors or like decal edge. I don't know what they're called. But I think I'm just going to cut. It'll take me a while because these are so small. But that's the nice thing about lives. They never go so smoothly. There's always something like this that's really like watching the paint dry, but it's bound to happen. Of course, if somebody was watching the replay, they could just speed through this process. And luckily I had most of these cut already. But if somebody is looking for fussy cutting tips, this is your moment. I pretty much, well, first of all, I'm using my Cutter B scissors. Those make this so much easier. They're from the EK Tools. And I'm moving my paper around, not the scissors. I'm closing the scissors evenly as I cut and just turning the paper. There we go. And like I said before, for me, this sort of a, I think it's like concave, that's the hardest shape to cut. I don't know why, but it just is. That's it. That's going to be my base. And no, I'm not going to use that. How about these? I think that would look nice. I kind of feel like I want to add some embellishments, but I'm trying to steer clear from using too much of enamel dots or things like that in my journals, because once again, it adds bulk. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Vale. I had so much fun. And that is true, smaller scissors make things so much easier. I've been thinking about getting these even smaller. I can't remember now what they're called. What are these called? I think they have like the same name as these, but they are these scissors. It's probably some hard word that I can't even pronounce because I can't remember it. Tweezer scissors, yes, I think, yes, Pam is saying there's tweezers, so at least straightly translated from Finnish, they would be tweezer scissors. It's like, I've been thinking about getting those and trying them out because many people have said that that's the best they've got for fussy cutting. I don't know what size or what side, which way I want to put it, but I'll just put it that way. I don't think it makes much of a difference. I mean, there's a small difference, but yeah, I think that works. I do have different laces. I even have some cheesecloth that I could put behind here. Why not? Let's take just a tiny piece of that and put it behind the pumpkins so that it somehow brings them up a little bit. I'll just lay the cheesecloth on the paper and then glue the pumpkins on and then hope for the best. That's my usual way of doing things anyway. Now I have to remember to put a lot of glue in the center here. There we go. I'm setting the pumpkins of the big stamp that I've got here so that it shows a little bit more. Plus, I think offsetting things is super fun. So there's that too. Just putting a small dab of glue, even though it will probably show. But I don't want my cheesecloth to go anywhere. That's it. I could now add the button, but once again it makes no sense, so I'll leave it out. I have this mushroom too, but that doesn't make any more sense than the button did. Okay, that's cool. I also have some washi tape that I brought out here. Some of it is quite autumn style, not all of it, and I think the ones that I can see here are actually too big for what I had in mind. But I felt like, well, there's the clock in here that I could add there, but I don't feel like it suits too well. So acorn would be one option, maybe a falling leaf. Why not? I think it works quite nicely actually. I could even do some of the lines, wiggly lines around it to make it look more like it was falling. Maybe same with the acorn. I think I'll actually, for some reason, I think that looks fun. Do I want them? No, I want the leaf here. The leaf is a bit too big for my taste, but once again, I'm trying not to overthink it and trying not to spend all my time here with you by hunting down things. So I'll just do with it. Oh, really? Hey, Di. Good morning to you. Or actually, I think it's your afternoon. In Australia. Okay. The acorn is dropping. That's why it's floating in the air. In this case, it's a good thing. And then I'll have this one dropping as well. There we go. Now I'll just need to find my black pen, which is right here. And just make some lines as if it was dropping. There we go. Signs of movement, people. Signs of movement. Okay, now we need to back this one up with something. I think I'll be boring and go with the coffee dyed paper again. That side, so that the pretty more uneven side is showing. I don't know. So evening for Dai, she says it's 6:30 p.m. for her, which makes sense. I forgot that it's almost midday for me, and I know that we have quite a few hours. It seems like we have 7 hours between us and Australia. I don't know why I said Australia, but Australia, the land of Oz. There we go. Pam, how did the gouache work on the gel plate? Was it okay? I've never tried that. I guess I missed the two. There we go. I'm just going to press this for a bit. I think we could add some lace for this one, just to do something a bit different from what I've done here on this channel so far. I don't think I've used any lace yet. Oh, the horror of not using lace. I've decorated many pages already without any lace. And now I have to go back and add it everywhere. No, I won't do that. There we go. One more. Come on. There we go. That's the corners rounded, and then I just have to do some ink blending or ink dabbing. Can't really call this blending, I'm just dabbing the ink on. There we go. Okay, the next step would be yeah, I have inverted tweezers too. These are really handy. If somebody is not familiar with them, usually when you use tweezers, when you press on it, they close, and when you let go, they open. But with inverted, it works the other way. So when you press on them, they open, and when you let go, they close. Really handy for gluing down small bits and so on. Okay, I want some lace in here, and I will put it on that corner because I know that's not going into the pocket that I have built. Just put down some glue and then add the lace on top. I think I need to go even further than that to make sure it stays. So I think I will cut my live a little bit short today. Usually I go for until around 1 p.m. my time, but today I'm honestly not feeling too great for some reason. It's been like that all the way from the morning, so nothing new. But I think I will just craft a little bit longer. There we go, that's the page. I think I will leave this out for now so that I won't accidentally glue the page shut. Now, for this page, like I said, I want to use some sort of like a matting layer or something to cover the whole thing to make it a little bit sturdier. But do I want to? I think I will use something plain so that I will have more options when it comes to decorating it. Yes, reverse tweezers, exactly. They're really helpful when you are making bows, that's for sure. I will make this a little bit less than 4 inches, which is about 10 centimeters, so that it will be a little bit smaller than my page. And then also height-wise, well, it's going to be actually much... Oops. Yes, my trimmer does not like the thin paper, especially like now when I'm not paying attention. And sorry for the squeak. That was the trimmer when I was putting it back. Wasn't pleasant noise at all. But yeah, I will make this work. It's shorter than the page, but that's fine. I will just take that out. And again, hope that I know where it came from. So, I think I might actually, now that the lace is out, the lace is happening a lot. I will leave the bottom part of the page because my paper wasn't quite big enough. I will intentionally leave that short so that I can even out the sides and the top of the page. And then I will cover that cap that I'm leaving with some lace. There we go. Trying not to go over the edges, but obviously not doing a great job. I'm starting to run low on my glue as well. I have more and it's easy to feel, but if this is the last page I'm doing today, it should be fine. Now, let's try to center this a little bit. It's harder to wiggle things with the brown paper because it's so thin. It doesn't really allow you to slide things over like a regular paper would. But yeah, there's my base for the page, and then I will cut the lace. I think I will want it the same length as the paper I just put down, which is about there. Good thing about lace is if it's not exactly the same length as the paper, I can always stretch it just a little bit. There we go. And I will also go over onto the paper. Thank you, Pam. Liking the racked edged mesh look on that paper. Yeah, I did a lot of these patterns that kind of look like they were gel printed, but obviously they're not. You just print them out. Partially that was because I know many people in our group enjoy gel printing and making their own papers and so on. So I think these would work with hand painted papers and so on really well. So that's why I thought it would be suitable. So we could take a tag, not this one because it gets lost a lot. And actually, instead of you using it as a tag, we could use it as a base for doing some layering. How about this one? Because for once, I'm having a page that is not completely yellowish. So one of those tags that would get lost in every other page might actually work here. There we go. I think a butterfly would be nice. I like that. And then maybe one of the big leaves. Yep, I'm going with it. Try and stop me. I'm also looking for some sort of a small word. I know I have some in here, like this. I think that would be good. Autumn. Maybe that's even a little bit too small. I don't know. Let's try and look for another. This one says delights. I'm trying not to pay attention to this page because these won't be side to side. So it doesn't really matter. And that's what I'm trying to keep in mind. Obviously, I could just make my own sentiment, just write something down. But we'll see what I end up doing. This one says autumn blessings. I don't even know if you can see. So and so. I'm barely in frame with my little tiny words here. I have some of these more colorful ones. I don't think I've used any of those yet. So that would be good. Yeah, that will work. Let's make it work. Let's put this here. So. Where's my signature? Here it is. I will now put this back in the journal, I think, so that I know what I'm working with and what I'm not. There we go. So right now I don't have to worry about this page at all because it's a blank space. I can do whatever I want with it. This definitely calls for some stitching, hand stitching later on. I think this will work because the butterfly is so strong, so bold. I think any other sentiment would just get lost a little bit. So even though this is a smaller one, you could maybe pack it up with something later on, but I'll just use that. And what I think I'll do is I'll this time around cut the center out from the top or the hole out. just love those butterflies, even if I say so myself. I think they're fun. I will definitely have to remember. I have to remember to print out some more before my next live, which is most likely going to be on next Monday. I don't think I will have a chance to do a weekend live this week. Next week, I will do one on Friday, I believe. Maybe Saturday, not sure. But I think it was Friday. That will be a little bit more in humane side of the clock for people in the United States. So there's that. So if you're watching a replay, keep an eye on my channel's live tab, because that's where I will schedule my lives so that you can see exactly what it is in your own time zone whenever I'm going live. There we go. I will just put it sideways. But do I want to add some sort of a trim or something in there? I think I do, but let's see if I have this. Don't ask why I've been saving this, but for some reason it's perfect for this project right here. So everything I save for a reason, or not, but I saved this, and for once I can be happy that I did. Do I want to? I could loop it like so, and then maybe just glue it on the back like that. I kinda like that idea. So let's just, I'll put some glue down somewhere in there. Oops, now I'm just going to glue myself to the paper. There we go. Oh, you are on dish duty this evening, Dai? Well, I personally think if I have to do do the dishes or do other types of adulting, lives just make it so much better. Do I want to change things up after all? Because now that I added the, I don't know, I will have to find out how I can make things work. I think that would be good. Let's just stick this one down before I change my mind. I'm trying not to. And it will maybe look a little bit weird because the piece of thread that I added here is a little bit bulky. So now that I glue this down and it's just thin paper, it might look a bit odd. But let's try to work with it. There we go. I will have to press it down even though there's a chance it will look nasty. No, it's not too bad. I will put it like that. Yes, that works. I had to change the orientation of the butterfly because at first I wanted it facing towards the center of the page, but the way I laid first this leaf and the tag, I kind of want the butterfly wing to cover this part here, so yeah, I'll make it work. I could also leave these butterflies like that. I could just glue down the center so that they flutter a little bit more, but whenever I close the journal it would be flat anyway. But let's do that for the funsies and simply just to do something different. It won't show up much, but I think it will look a little bit more organic or something. There we go. It's just fluttering by being a butterfly. You are creating a mixed media card, huh? Bam. I have to say the mixed media butterfly really, or mixed media butterfly, butterflies don't bite. I don't think they do anyway, but yeah, mixed media fly has really bit you. I don't think the flies bite either, but that's how the saying, at least in Finnish, goes like. So now we have our grateful heart here, and then I want to do the stitching part because that's fun. Do I want to go over on or on top of the lace? I don't think I do. I just want the stitching to be other spots on this page. Because the sentiment and the butterfly are so strongly colored, I kind of want to tie that in. Plus, like I said, when I started working on this journal, I kind of want it to look like a quilt. Kind of, sort of. So this just brings or adds to that. I could add some stickles. I could add some golden gel pen like I have been adding here and there. Am I still in frame? So and so. Let's just try to get this done fast. Now, do I want stitching on the tack as well? I think that would be kind of fun. Can there be too much stitching? Probably yes. But right now it's viewer's choice. Do we want stitching on this or around the... I don't think I will do any stitching around this because that's kind of hard to do. But do we want stitching on the tack? Frida is just saying, welcome to the messy side of life, Pam. Yeah, exactly. Like I said in the beginning of this live, we call Pam Messy Pam now. So, stitching on the tack or no stitching on the tack? And that is faux stitching. Let me know what you think. I'm just finger dancing here until I get some answers. Yes, okay. One for yes. Do we have any other opinions? Yes, okay. Two for yes. So let's do it. There we go. I think it lifts it up a little bit from the page. When I do this, be consistent. No, I refuse. There we go. And then the last couple of stitches. There we go. And up. And then on top, can I lift these just a little bit so that I can get just one? There we go. I was consistent there. I made sure that the stitching goes under the thread as well. So that's it. Let's see what we made today. I'm almost done with my first signature, and it's only been 3 lives. I think I will work on this on my own time a little bit. Maybe just make a few pages here and there and then pair them up later on. I don't know. We'll see. But let's see. We started here, didn't we? I think so. I only made 3, 5, 6 pages today. Last time I made 8, but I'm cutting it a little bit short this time around, so I guess I'm doing quite well. Yeah, a stitch stamp would be great, and I actually think I have one, but I enjoy doing it by hand. That way I also don't have to worry about going off the edge or covering the rest of the page with a piece of paper or something like that. But anywho, we made this flippy flap page with some golden details. There we go. And I think this is actually light enough so that you could write on it with a black pencil or something, so definitely a lot of writing space there. And that is just some plain washi tape to cover the hinge a little bit. Then I made this fun page, which was kind of like a 2-for-1. So panels and then this belly band with a journal card behind it. This is just a collage inspired by Lori from, let me check, I will have to pick Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. She did a live about this. I will link it down below when I get a chance. So if you are watching a replay, you will be able to see that too, where I got the inspiration. Hers was different and it was a card. Here I just put a tag and some light decorating. Now I think this is dry so that we can put the journal card back where it belongs, which ties these pages up quite nicely. We have some falling leaves and then the last page with a glued down tag and just a really simple collage. You would stitch what tag? Yeah, I think I could actually stitch everything. Everything in here. When I come back the next time, it's all stitched, like everything. But yeah, I think Dai was probably talking about this or that, not sure. And this pocket could definitely use some stitching, so who knows? Maybe I'll add that because we already have some in here. And this could maybe use some more stitching too. We'll see, we'll see. So many options. Thank you so much, people, for joining me today. I appreciate that. Looks Anne-Marit Google for stamp with stitching in Norwegian stores right now, right away. Hold on, I will just take a look. Actually, it is right here. There's one from Studio Light. I'm pretty sure that's also available on Norway. This is from the Write Your Story collection from Janine's Mindful Art collection. Yep. I think the name is Script and Stitches. This is a really nice mixed media thing, and I think this is quite so-called cost effective. I think it only costs like less than 10 euros. Um, Pam is saying Tim Holtz has one too. That is, I would think, a bit more on the expensive side, at least here in Europe, and also probably a bit harder to find, especially if it's an older one, although they are still able, available in marketplaces and so on. But that's what we did today. I hope you enjoyed the live. Um, Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate that, um, and spending your time here with me. And thanks for being such a great mod today, Pam. You're awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, the Tim Holtz version is apparently CMS365. Yay, thank you, Terry. So, time for me to go and get some lunch, and I will hopefully see you next Monday. Until then, stay crafty and bye bye.